Welcome to Fight Scene Film School. We're going to cover the bigger, better fight from Jackie Chan's Thunderbolt in 1995. Of course, in 1995, if you haven't seen my last video, Jackie Chan, film Rumble in the Bronx, broke his ankle, did this movie, basically had them film it entirely with a stunt double, and then he showed up after the fights were already filmed, and they kind of just plugged him in with some insert shots and had him do this and that. You can tell in some shots they didn't even try to cover up the fact that it was a double. This is a few minutes before the actual fight scene starts, and there's a little bit of action. He does some headbutts, and then you can see that it's actually a stuntman, and they got him there for that little bit of a kick. So it's not just the big main fight that they had the double for. They had a double for stuff that happened like 2 minutes, 3 minutes before the actual big fight started. So here's the deal. Every time it's Jackie Chan, it's going to say so at the top. Every time it's a stunt double, it's going to say stunt double. If I can't point to something to say that is a stuntman for sure, I'm just going to give him the benefit of the doubt, even though that's the opposite of what you can do with this fight, really. Pretty much anytime you can't see Jackie's face in a shot, it's not him in this fight scene. It is the most egregious stuntman usage possible. Even with the mallet here, a bunch of the shots are not Jackie swinging at it. Got a guy jumping up from the top, and it's a stunt double. This is a good example of a shot where I'm going to leave it saying Jackie at the top of the screen, even though I can guarantee that that is the double. But I can't point to anything and say, see, therefore it's a double. A lot of this stuff involving kicking the pachinko machines has wires. I love the creativity of the mallet, though. And of course, we get Ken Lo, kickboxing champion, and if you've seen Legend of Drunken Master, you know who Ken Lo is from the final fight. Yes, he is in this fight scene. No, that is not Jackie dodging the pachinko stools. And of course, so he's not doing the kip up where he goes back, but he is doing it on the way up. And since he broke his ankle, anytime you see the little shots of his feet, that's not going to be him, but I'm still just going to leave it as saying Jackie. These wide shots, for some reason, they really leave shots where you can see clearly that it's not Jackie when it's on top of the pachinko machines. He uses doubles in the earlier fight in Thunderbolt, but he uses them even more here, and you can see his face so many more times here. So it would be, let's say, a bit suspicious if somebody were to make a video about Jackie using stunt doubles in Thunderbolt, and they only used the fight that I had covered, the earlier fight in the movie, because you can see it a lot more in this one, and you would think if somebody did their research, they would show stuff from this. Anyway, this video is brought to you by citing your sources. It's the ethical thing to do. I think this is the perfect fight for Jackie to come out with and say, yes, I broke my ankle. I had a very good reason. There is somebody doubling for me in these fights. Oh, that was a really egregious view of the stuntman's face. Again, lots of wires. Even, I love that spinning hook kick underneath Ken Lo's kick, and I know Jackie can do it. So many doubles. You can see the double's face there so bad, or so well, whichever. So some of it is just weird. Oh, that's a sped up part too. When he does that flicking, I guess we'd say an inverted roundhouse kick. So yes, Jackie has said in the past, no, we don't speed things up, we have to slow things down, and that's not the case at all. There's some really sped up stuff. Oh, I didn't know this part of the fight existed because I saw the Japanese Laserdisc. That's what I had of this, called Dead Heat. And they took out this entire section of Jackie fighting the Yakuza. Basically, anytime you don't see Jackie's face, it is not him. You can usually tell by the hair because Jackie's hair is dyed and feathered and his double's hair is just kind of normal. But you can also tell by the face because it's not Jackie's face, and you see it a hell of a lot in this fight scene. What do you guys think of this sort of low frame rate, weird blurriness? This is Sammo Hung directing, and he did the same thing with the fights often in Mr. Nice Guy. He directed Mr. Nice Guy that Jackie's in, and they do the same thing with a lot of dramatic moments, like when he's going to dive and catch somebody or something like that. None of this is to say that I hate Jackie and his movies. I mean, I'm wearing a Jackie shirt right now. I love his choreography and the fights. I am just going to continually call him out on using doubles until he finally admits that it's a group effort and that even he uses doubles. He's thrown some of his stuntmen under the bus before, and I am going to keep pointing it out that he has a double standard and he's using doubles. You don't usually see sumo wrestling. I like it. Obviously, even the shots of his foot, like I'm saying, that's a double because Jackie broke his ankle. I completely understand, but there's a lot of stuff where it doesn't need to be a double at all. Do you think, like I do, that he should come out and say, yes, there were doubles, it was a team effort, this happens? I really wish he would, but at the same time, when your career in the West is built on that image, he stands to lose millions of dollars maybe if he does do this. Oh, we're getting Ken Lo into the fight now. Gotta love it. Oh man, so many doubles. What would Jackie do? Well, in the case of Thunderbolt, he'd get a double to do it. This is fun. It reminds me of Jackie's done fight scenes on trampolines before, but not with these wires suspending stuff. It really makes the opportunity for choreography more creative when it's not just a bouncy floor. It's a bouncy floor with these objects, these wires that you can grab and do stuff with. My cousin who had the laser disc always loved this punch, thought it felt really painful, like it came across as a painful hit. It didn't for me. I don't know if it does for you. Tell me in the comments. It just seemed like a normal kind of semi-slow motion punch to me. And of course, not Jackie at all here with all the gray ping pong balls. The idea that these would be pachinko balls is actually pretty funny. That would be so painful. There we have it, the second longer, better fight scene in Thunderbolt with even more doubles than ever before. And if you haven't seen my first video about the other gigantic, amazing fight scene in Thunderbolt, you can click right here. Let's just say it's here and watch that one.